One of the strategies that I think has been really eye-opening for me as a parent and for a lot of other parents that we work with is this idea of saying yes. Giving yeses to our children as often as we can. Saying yes, giving those yeses builds trust between us, between our children and ourselves. And so you can kind of think of it every time you can give a yes as putting a coin in that trust bank. And trust is the foundation for all of the other things that we talk about and we want for our kids. So if we are saying yes, and a lot of times that saying yes is really hard because we haven't really stopped to find out why we say no so often. And when we really take the time, every time you're getting ready to say no to something and you stop and you ask yourself, why am I going to say no? A lot of times it's because it's not convenient for us or we just don't want them to. And if we can ask ourselves, can I give a joyful yes in this situation? We're going to build trust with our kids. And the thing is that that's great is that this works with not only children that are very young, but with teenagers as well. And we've had a lot of families of older kids tell us that when I stop and I think about the reasons I say no and I say yes instead and I can do it joyfully, it is amazing the connection that I have with my kids. But then I have a lot of parents say, but if I'm giving yeses all the time, then what about when I have to say no? What's going to happen? They're going to want a yes because I've given them so many yeses. And what we find is just the opposite often, is that when we give yeses joyfully, that when we do have to say no, our kids are more willing to be able to accept it. Not too long ago, I had this situation with one of my kids where I was really intentional about giving yeses, and I got to a point with something that I had to say no. It just wasn't an option at the time. And you can use compromises and you can use choices when you have to say no sometimes, but in this situation, those weren't options for me either. And my son kind of looked at me and said, I can't, was a little surprised. And I stopped and I just reminded him. I said, buddy, you know what? Mom tries really hard to be able to give you a yes every time that I can, but there are times that I can't. And sometimes if I have to say no, just like I want to say yes to you as often as possible, I want you to accept that no and be okay with it because I try really hard to give you yeses when I can. And he seemed satisfied with that answer, and he was okay, and we moved on and he accepted the no. And then very next time I was trying to say yes again over and over when I can. But it takes us being intentional. It takes us stopping sometimes and asking ourselves, why do I say no so often? And I say it a lot. Sometimes I think that could be my middle name. It's just no, 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 when it's because maybe I don't want to get up to help with something, or I don't want to, help, I don't want to have to get something, or I don't want to have to turn the channel on the TV, or whatever the case may be. I say no a lot for things that I could just take a moment and do it, and it's a yes for our kids.